After 3 weeks in New Zealand's South Island, we thought we'd already seen the best this country had to offer. Then we flew north. What followed completely changed our minds. Hidden beaches, natural hot springs, ancient forests, and volcanic landscapes. This is part 3 of our summer adventure across New Zealand. I've linked parts 1 and 2 in the description below, which covers our unforgettable time spent on the South Island. We arrived in Auckland with not much of a plan. Some beaches pinned on the map, along with some other spots locals recommended to us. No hotels or Airbnbs booked, just some camping gear in the back to keep the plans free. With some snacks to energy, we got into our rental car and headed east toward the Coromandel Peninsula, one of New Zealand's most beloved coastal regions. While Auckland is home to over a third of the country's population, the Coromandel feels like a completely different world, with winding roads, native forests, white sand beaches, and small seaside communities. Our base for the night was Hahe Beach Resort. Different from our campgrounds back home in Canada, but we loved it. Located right along the beach, there was every amenity you needed, even a brewery with restaurants to eat at. We woke the next day to our alarm clocks ringing at 3 a.m., with the goal of reaching Cathedral Cove for sunrise. After weeks of tackling big hikes across the South Island, this was exactly the change of pace we needed. On our way back to the campsite, we passed by a busy spot called the Little Blue Kitchen. Still half asleep from the early wake up, we could not wait for that first sip of caffeine. The food, to no surprise to us, was amazing, just like every other meal we have had in this country. If you're watching this and you're from New Zealand, in case you didn't know, you have some of the freshest and most delicious tasting food we have ever eaten.
There we go, that's 63.
How was the hike, Katya?
It was nice.
I'll just get your
Lots of ups and downs.
We didn't get any golden light at sunrise though.
Bit of a bust, but it's still pretty.
Very cool spot.
We probably could have spent another week or two here, but with only a short time on the island, we were back on the road to our next stop. This is Blue Springs, where New Zealand gets 70% of its bottled drinking water. Every drop of water here has spent decades underground, slowly filtering through volcanic rock, before emerging crystal clear at the surface. The Māori name is Te Waho, meaning new water. For generations, the springs have been regarded as an important source of fresh water and a place of cultural significance. Leaving the crystal clear waters of Blue Springs behind, we headed southeast towards Rotorua. In just over an hour, the landscape began to change. The lush farmland gave way to forests, volcanic terrain, and the unmistakable smell of sulfur. In hopes of getting some time alone at our next stop, we woke early again, arriving at the parking lot with steam rising from the forest. We followed the path upstream, not knowing what we would find. About 10 minutes later, we stepped into what felt like a scene from a fairy tale. A waterfall crashing into a pool below, with steam rising through the air. Somehow, there was no one else here but us. We spent hours in the spring all by ourselves, exploring up the stream and finding new spots to take it in. If you're planning a trip to New Zealand, we've already done the hard work for you. Packed everything we discovered into a detailed travel guide, including an interactive map with 250 plus locations, best hikes, hidden gems, scenic campsites, and must-see stops across both islands. It's the exact resource we wish we'd had for planning our trip. Check out the link in the description below for more. With only one full day left, we had one last area squeezed into our express North Island tour. After Rotorua, we made our way west to Raglan, a laid-back surf town that immediately felt different from everywhere we'd visited so far. The pace was slower, but the weather had finally caught up with us. Rain rolled in off the Tasman Sea and stayed for the rest of our visit. But somehow, it felt fitting. The grey skies, empty beaches, and mist hanging over the hills gave Raglan a completely different mood than anywhere else we'd visited in New Zealand. Our day started at Raglan Roast, which ended up serving one of the best coffees we had in an entire month in New Zealand. We've been all over Italy, tried many cappuccinos and lattes there, but I have to say, New Zealand did it even better. The barista pointed us towards the shack for breakfast afterwards, and it did not disappoint. Just outside of town, we drove up to Te Toto Gorge. Even with the rain rolling in, the views were impressive. Looking out across the rugged coastline, it's easy to imagine how incredible the spot would be at sunset. On the way back, we stopped at Manu Bay, one of New Zealand's most famous surf breaks. Even from the shore, the size and power of the waves were incredible to watch. This rainy day called for a waterfall adventure. We stopped at Bridal Veil Falls. Just a short walk through the native forest leads to a waterfall plunging more than 50 meters into the pool below. A fitting final adventure before our North Island journey came to an end. Before we end this video, we just want to say thank you to the people of New Zealand. We've traveled to a lot of places over the years, but we've never felt more welcome than we did here. Everywhere we went, people were kind, friendly, and always willing to help. New Zealand is famous for its incredible landscapes, but what we'll remember most is the people. We felt a genuine connection here, and that's something we'll carry with us long after this trip is over. We often say there's simply too much of the world to see to keep returning to the same place, but we think New Zealand might be the exception. Thank you for sharing your beautiful country with us. We'll see you again soon.